Shout out to you guys. We're live. We're live. We're live. Testing the mic. So today we got the clip here with Alex Jones and Errol Musk. I believe this guy lives in South Africa. He's the father of Elon Musk. And I felt it was a really good interview to have a discussion with you guys and just pick your brains, see what your opinions are about it. Of course, as usual, I'm always open to agreements, disagreements, polite, cordial discourse, of course. No name calling, if you don't mind. Apologies for the attire today, y'all. Like it's literally, it feels like it's over 30 degrees right now, but maybe it's not quite there because it's currently 11:40 p.m. Where I am, and it's about 26 degrees, but it feels very, very humid and just So I didn't have anything else that was gonna keep me cool for this stream. So bear with me here, guys. I'm not trying to show off or anything like that. But without further ado, I'm gonna shut up and we're gonna dive right into the stream here.
We're about to have here in less than 48 hours. So it's great to have Errol Musk with us today. We've got a lot of topics. We're going to get into the Middle East wars, what's happening in Ukraine, and so much more. I'm also going to bring up how he named Elon, and you got Werner von Braun's book that is Project Mars, and in it, the guy that colonizes Mars is named Elon. Was that on purpose, some true visionary, or who knows what it was? Because obviously Elon, richest man in the world, worth $1 trillion, and also very interesting and pro-free speech, is something I know that Errol has said he's proud of. But Errol, if you weren't Elon Musk's dad, we would still have you on because you're so interesting. You're taking on bands of people trying to kill you and your daughter and shooting them, and being the top shooter in the military in South Africa, and all that's happening in South Africa now is a microcosm of what's coming to the West. I mean, you've definitely done a lot of interesting things, and the emerald mines and everything else. That would be just a wild interview in and of itself. So we should talk about that some too. But thanks for being here with us.
A pleasure. It's a real pleasure. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you. Wow. So what is your view of the West? What is the West? Is it in crisis? Why is it in crisis? And what happens if the West was to fall? And if you agree with me that it is under total siege, who is attacking it? How do we save it? And I'd love to hear your analysis of that, sir.
Well, I'd say the West has been under siege for quite a long time. And in recent years, we have seen the people fighting back, and that is seen in the flesh with Donald Trump, and we see it in the flesh in various other parts of the world as well. And we're seeing it more and more in the last short few months behind us, where even in England, which was basically considered a hopeless basket case, where in the municipal elections they completely ignored the existing government and gave them something like 8% of their vote, and gave the rest of their vote.
All right, y'all. So I don't mean to interrupt the father of the world's richest trillionaire, but I just wanted to really explain from my perspective why I felt this was a very interesting interview. Because this guy here, he's not just anybody. Like, he's actually like so he's like, I think he's definitely someone that we want to hear from. He's qualified to speak about this, in my opinion. That's probably why he made it on the Alex Jones show. He's actually an engineer by trade. Before becoming a public figure in his own right, Errol actually worked as a mechanical engineering consultant. He also served in politics in the 1970s and early 1980s. And then he was actually elected to the Pretoria City Council in South Africa. And he's the first as an independent and later with the Progressive Federal Party in South Africa. And there's a scandal about him, if you want to call it that. It's about the Emerald story. And essentially, some say it's real, but it's more nuanced. Because Errol has said that he acquired rights to part of the outputs from Zambian emerald mines. And this has often been simplified online into Elon's father owned an emerald mine. But the details have been debated over the years. So just like some more details about him as we continue to dissect what it is that he's talking about in this interview with Alex Jones. But we'll keep the clip rolling here.
To the so-called, up-and-coming parties So we're seeing things improve. We actually are seeing things improve. I'm quite happy to say that things are improving. They're improving. People are waking up. That's what it boils down to. The old do-gooder times where you just people they feel that they owe their country. They owe their country to some other country, or they owe their country to some people from some other country. That's gone? I mean, people are saying, no, wait, that's not true. The English people do not owe their country to some people in some faraway land. The Americans do not owe their country to somebody else. It's like somebody had a house, put a lot of work into it, and he owes his house to people, strangers who haven't done anything. No. You don't owe your house to anybody. It's your house. You built it. And people are waking up to that reality. And so I'm pleased to say that I've seen that happen with my own sons, where Elon and Kimmel have woken up to that reality. They didn't believe in that reality maybe 10 years ago. They do now.
I was about to say, I have, let's just say, done a deeper dive on you because I already knew who you were and followed some of it, but I went back and found interviews of you decades ago, newspaper clippings, just, probably one Saturday afternoon, spent like 3 hours kind of digitally stalking you in a friendly way. And I noticed statements you made decades ago that sounded just like your son today. And I guess he was more, liberal then, but as he said, the left moved so far left.
All right. So just before, I just wanted to talk about because he talked about his son, just to give some insights in there. So apparently he's actually had a strained relationship with his son, Elon, for years. Both men have publicly actually criticized each other in interviews, and they have largely been estranged. So just to note that as we keep the clip rolling here.
He now has basically, more and more, I think, embraced a lot of your worldview, but there you were decades ago warning of this, but I guess that's because you were in the middle of South Africa and had people literally try to kill you, and you had to kill people to defend yourself, and so you were kind of in the fire.
Well, yes, as a young man, I grew up very much opposing things like apartheid and wanting everybody to have the same fair chance. It took me time to, sort of learn a little bit more about the whole basic why things are the way they are. And I still believe in giving everybody a fair shake, and I don't like any kind of bad treatment of anybody. I think everybody should have the same chance, and so forth. And the old Democrat ideal, as Elon himself has said, in years gone by, Democrats spouted, certainly in the early 2000s. The Democrat story was a story of hope that we will make everyone happy and everyone will have everything, and no one should get a short straw and all that sort of thing. But as time went by, my sons Elon and Kimmel realized this is fake. This is not real. It's what they talk, but they don't do. And so they changed. They completely changed. And as I say, the same thing is happening everywhere. In my country, where I live in South Africa, for example, this kind of thing that you're showing now on the screen, that's history. That happened some time ago. I think it's some time ago. But the people are not accepting it anymore. They are saying no. And I was on CNN where they asked me, what do I think of the idea that, about 6 months ago, what do I think of the idea that America will be a majority black country by the year 2050? What do I think of that idea? I said, well, I don't think that's a great idea. I really don't think that's a great idea. And they said, what about the oppression of the blacks that the white people did in South Africa? I said, well, I never saw any oppression. We fed people. We had very good medical systems. We had very good schools. We had everything which I don't have today. We don't have it anymore. We have a broken country which is hanging by a thread right now. That's South Africa. So, yeah, I think.
Can you give us the conditions there now? Because I know we're showing tapes 5 years old of them saying, kill the Boer, kill the white farmer. Only, 30-something thousand of them farms left or whatever it is, or 25,000. And then from the numbers I've seen, the videos coming out of the reports, it seems to be far worse basic breakdown. So it's not like apartheid was good, but then it's replaced with communist system that's even worse. And then now I notice there's big uprisings by
Yeah. So speaking of apartheid, just so that we're all on the same page here, like essentially it's a system of racial segregation and discrimination. It existed in South Africa from 1948 to 1994. And the word apartheid actually is derived from apartness in Afrikaans. I might have butchered that, but whatever. So, anyways, essentially under apartheid, people were classified by race. So they had the white, they had the black, they had the colored, and they had Indians. So the black South Africans could not vote in national elections for most of the apartheid period. So you can imagine that, like in your own land, that's completely unacceptable. Also, people of different races often had to live in separate neighborhoods. Now, what is Errol's stance on apartheid? Like, it's not always been clear where he stays. Sometimes he opposes it, and sometimes he speaks favorably about it. But I wanted to just give that context as well as we continue to listen to it, just so that we're all on the same page. Because I myself, I don't know all of all these things, and I have to look them up in lifetime.